Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for tuning in with me today. So in today's video, I am going to be playing around with a lot of newly released makeup. Not everything is brand new. Some of these products are actually acquired a couple of weeks ago, maybe even a couple of months ago, to be honest with you, but I've never really showed them on my channel. So I thought today is the day to, put on a full face with all of these new products. I mean, I do have some exciting things lying in front of me. I have the new eyeshadow palette by Makeup by Mario. I've got some stuff from Iconic London, some new Fenty Beauty things, a new foundation, all of the good things. Also, in case you've tried out any of these products featured in today's video, please don't forget to drop me a comment down below. What was your experience with them? Are we sharing the same experience? Do you have a different experience? You guys know I am always really intrigued to hear from you. And if you do enjoy this video, please don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to ring the bell in order to get notified about my upcoming content as well. And as per usual, I am going to be listing and linking all of the products mentioned in today's video down in my description box as well. So I do definitely appreciate it. Also, just know my links are generated through my partner over at Shop My Shelf. I am not really affiliated with any of these brands directly, but I generate them through my partner. But all right, let's actually go ahead and let's start applying some makeup onto my face. I'm actually really excited. And because I was so excited to sit down here and film, I completely forgot to actually put on my prepping step, the step that I usually always do before I'm filming. And that is applying my Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Water Powder Serum. I love this, you guys know. I have a little bit more oily skin, so I like to apply this actually before I'm filming, but I kind of forgot. So I'm just going to be doing that and I'll be right back because I've been talking about this product ever since it was released this year, so I think you guys are sick and tired of this product by now. So I'm just going to do this quickly, and then we are going to be moving on to some new primers. And yeah, some new primers, because I actually have 2 new primers, and I'm going to be trying to put them all on my face. So my Danessa Myricks serum is sinking in right now. So while it's sinking in, let me actually show you what I purchased. I actually did get the new Catrice Cosmetics Aqua Splash Grip Primer. This is kind of similar to the e.l.f. gripping primer, to the Milk Hydro Grip. So I'm really excited actually to be trying this one out. But you guys know, since this is a hydrating primer and I do need a little bit of blurring action around my pores, I also picked up another primer. I did pick up the travel size though of this, and I'm not sure if this is brand new, but I kind of remember that this was released this year. I might be completely mistaken. But this is by Makeup Forever, and it's the Pore Minimizer. So I do want to try this one out. It's still in the box. I mean, I got the mini size. So what I want to do is, I think I'm going to be applying this one first. I think I'm going to apply it right here, and then maybe a little bit on my chin. So let's see what this is going to be like. This comes with a squeeze nozzle. Oh, okay. Let me actually see this texture. I've not tried this out. Ooh, this feels balmy. Feels a little bit like the iconic London one. Ooh, okay. I mean, just look at the difference. Oh my goodness, I did not expect that. I did not expect this to be that blurring. And this is just phenomenal. I had no idea that this would be that good. I mean, I got a pretty deep pore right here. And it's very hard to fill that one in or to make it disappear. Wow, I'm impressed. Now I want to put this all over my face. We're not going to be doing that, but man, okay, this is something that I can see myself reaching for. If this is going to play nicely underneath my foundations, then this is definitely a keeper, because this has not only mattified my skin now, it has definitely erased all of my pores to a certain degree. All right, so let's move on to the Aqua Splash Grip Primer by Catrice. I do like a good gripping primer from time to time, depending on what foundation I am using. To be honest, the foundation I'm going to be using today, I don't really feel like it needs a gripping primer, to be honest, at all. but I feel like I can still put it on. So this one is also oil-free. So this one has a little bit of a different texture. It's almost like more jelly. Like this is very, very jelly-like. Okay, let's see. I'm just gonna put it on here. Let's see how tacky this is gonna be like. This is a little bit thinner than the e.l.f. one. This has a scent though. So let me put that on my forehead. And I forgot to clip my hair back. Oh, that's not a biggie. We'll do that in a second. It almost smells like, you know, those ocean room sprays? The ones that kind of smell like ocean. I mean, it's called Aqua Splash, so I kind of like the scent though. The scent is nice. It leaves a tag. Oh yeah. I don't think it's quite as tacky as the e.l.f. one though. And it's not as syrupy. I feel like the e.l.f. one is just super, super syrupy. This one is a little bit more lightweight. Really nice. I like it. It's also not over the top glowy. And mind you, I did not use a lot of this product. I went in with this very, very sparingly, just out of experience, because I know the e.l.f. one, if you use too much, it's too tacky. Honestly, these were two products I have not tried out yet, as you probably saw by my reaction right now. So these are completely new to me. These were unopened. But now we're going to be moving on to the foundation. And honestly, this foundation, I've been using this. I have been using this ever since I got this. And I got this, I want to say like 2 months ago. So I am talking about the IT Cosmetics CC Plus Natural Matte Color Correcting Full Coverage Cream. So this is their newest addition to their CC creams. To be honest with you, I never tried out any of their CC creams before, their color correcting creams. I don't have any. This was the very first time that something kind of spoke to me that I wanted to, you know, make a purchase, try it out. And I think this came out earlier this year, but I only recently picked this one up. I did pick this one up, I do want to say, towards the end of September, and I was wearing this constantly. I even brought this with me on my holiday, but let me tell you, my tan was so intense that the shade started to not match me after day 3 of my holiday. So that was a little bit unfortunate. I mean, honestly, none of the foundations that I brought with me on holiday matched me. So I had to compensate with a lot of bronzer on my face. But I will say I really, really do love this. I really like it. I am impressed with this. I mean, if you have more combo, oily, leaning skin, I think you will really like this. This is actually a really good one. So let me actually go quickly over these bullet points and let me tell you a little bit about the shade range. So they are saying that this is a full coverage foundation, natural matte finish. This also has SPF 40. It actually has a hybrid sunscreen in here. It has 2 chemical filters and 1 physical filter. The physical filter is going to be titanium dioxide. Non-comedogenic, fragrance-free, and vegan. This product also does include some niacinamide. So in terms of shades, this actually does exist in 30 shades. I did pick up the shade light with cool undertones. If I would not have had this tan, this would match me perfectly. I tried to actually put on like a turtleneck just to really just hide my neck. Maybe it's gonna work a little bit better. So I'm gonna be clipping my hair back and then we can apply it. Okay, so my hair is clipped back. I'm gonna be applying it on one side of my face first so you can see an immediate comparison to the side with bare skin. I am going to pump out. Also, I love, love, love the packaging. This is so travel friendly. The texture of this, it is a little bit thicker, but not too thick. So this will eventually run down my finger, but very slowly. It is a little bit on the creamier, thicker side, but it's not the creamiest foundation that I've tried this year. It's still very lightweight and breathable. And I love applying this with a dampened sponge. On the website, they are suggesting to use a brush, but I honestly think with the sponge, it blends out really, really lovely. So I think the shade is fine. It's honestly okay. I feel like I'm losing my tan too. But the coverage on this and this finish, stop. This is such a beautiful matte like finish. It is not dewy. It is not shiny at all, but it's also not a cakey matte. And I love this. I really have to say, I am so impressed by this. Like, just with a little bit of product, this literally evened out everything. I still have some product left, so I'm going to use that on my forehead. Like, you don't need a lot of product. I used one pump for one side of my face. This has great coverage. This definitely has more of a matte finish, but it is still, yeah, I would call this a natural matte as well, because as you can see, the light, the studio light here, is still bouncing off my skin. So it is not like a flat matte. I feel like this is just so beautiful. It almost looks like a second skin. I really do love this. And you guys know what? I completely forgot to put something on my lips. What is happening with me? I actually did purchase a new lip oil to show you. And usually I like to apply lip oils before I'm applying foundation, just because, you know, I might get some foundation on my lips and then it's just easier for me to remove it later on. And sometimes it even prevents the foundation to like color my lips, which I really don't like. So quick break from the foundation. Quick break, okay? Let me actually apply this lip oil, because this lip oil is really one that did impress me. And as of recently, I've got this obsession with trying out lip oils. And I really want to like make a video solely on lip oils, but I really wanted to show you this for this video. And usually I would do this after I have applied my primer. I completely forgot. So let's just do this real quick. So I did purchase this brand newly released Iconic London lip oil. I actually got mine in the shade Sugar Mama. I think they have 3 or maybe even 4 shades of this. And oh my gosh, this is lovely. This is so amazing. This is huge. And how much product are you actually going to get? You're going to get 6 milliliters. Is that actually a lot? Let me actually compare this. So the other one that I'm really in love with is the Too Faced Kissing Jelly. That is like a oil gloss hybrid thing, but that only comes with 4.50 milliliters. So this one has more product. And this formula hits all of the marks. Like, this is thick and like gel-like. Like, it's just so cushiony. It's not one of these lip oils that is thin, slips around, and does not do anything, you know, and it's gone after a couple of minutes. This one is really long lasting as well, and I'm so impressed with this. I mean, oh, so good. And it's not tacky or anything. It's so beautiful. So I'm just going to apply this real quick onto my lips before we are continuing with the foundation. And this also has like a sweet sort of taste to it. Look at that. So shiny. And the feeling on my lips, it is just so amazing. It's literally like a cushion. The scent, definitely more of a sweet scent. I'm not sure if it's only the shade Sugar Mama that has this type of scent, because I don't have any of the other shades. This one is the one that looked a little bit more translucent. I mean, this is completely translucent on your lips. They got some other shades, and I'm not sure if that is going to show up a little bit more tinted. If you've been looking for a great lip oil, oh my gosh, love it. Really good. So let's move on to the foundation. I will say this foundation also has a little bit of a self-setting property, not as much though as the Urban Decay foundation. So I'm just going to use more product for the other side. Maybe if this natural matte one isn't your cup of tea, have a look at their other CC creams, because they've got something for everyone, really. But I also feel like I don't need that much product. Every time I apply this foundation, I'm just like, beautiful, really pretty. So yeah, if you do have more oily, more combo skin, I would definitely recommend this foundation. If you were looking for something that has an SPF, that has great coverage, that is easy to use, I really do like this foundation. So let's actually move on to a concealer. This is a new to me concealer, and I think this was also released this year, if I'm not mistaken. So this is by Laura Mercier, and this is the Real Flawless Weightless Perfecting Concealer. And I did pick up the shade Tree Neutral 1. It's a really good shape match and it has a very thin texture. Sometimes concealers with a thin texture will not work that well on me. However, this one really surprised me, but I also changed my method of application. I saw this makeup artist talking about how influencers were just applying their concealer technically wrong all the time. And she suggested to actually take a little bit of the concealer onto your hand and then use an eyeshadow brush, like a big blending brush. So I've got this one here with me by Ilia. This is too big for my eyes. So this was a brush that I had no use for my eye makeup. So I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to use this to apply concealer. And she was basically mixing the concealer into the brush and just like blending it like an eyeshadow underneath the eyes. And ever since I tried this technique, I will say my creasing is very minimal. Here is the shade real quick. So I just put a little bit on my hand. I really like this shade. So look, I'm just going to pick up a little bit onto the brush like that. And I'm just going to do this very slowly, not rush. And I was just like, wait, what? Like, how is this even possible? This just looks so much better, especially with concealers that have a little bit of that thinner texture. But ever since I've been doing this, oh my gosh, I have seen just better results in terms of how my concealer is looking at the end of my day. But this has been such a great hack. And usually I never try hacks. Like, I know how to do my makeup, but this was really helpful. And I saw this somewhere. Again, I can't recall where it was exactly. This is looking so pretty. Like, I really like this concealer. It's thin and it's hydrating. So if you have like dry under eyes, oh my gosh, I think you would love it. And if you were looking for a good sort of like medium flexible, sort of like skin-like concealer, this is stunning. Wow. And this method, beautiful. Okay, very, very pretty. So before I am going to be moving on to the powder, I'm just going to be applying a little bit of an eye primer. I'm going to be using my Sigma eyeshadow base primer, the one that I'm always using. So I'll be right back. I actually have a powder that is a brand new release. So let's talk about this brand newly released powder first. So this is by Iconic London and it's their new Velvet Blur Translucent Setting Powder. This is a brand that I really want to have a closer look at and I really want to try out more things by them. So I did purchase this newly released setting powder. The packaging here, oh, I still have this sticker on. I need to remove the sticker. So this actually does come with a mirror and with a powder puff that I'm not going to be using. The problem is though it has a tapping net. I know I'm not the biggest fan of these tapping nets. So I had a closer look at this powder underneath my studio lights, right? And when you are looking really close, you can see that there are some very, very small, like pearlescent sort of shimmer particles in here. So I was like, oh no, is this gonna be a glowy powder? Because the name of it is Velvet Blur, right? When you are reading the description on their official website, which I clearly did not do, it does say light reflecting loose setting powder for a velvet matte airbrushed finish. The amount of work I put in to actually blur my pores. I don't want a setting powder to actually reverse all of that because when I put this onto my pores, and although it was very minimal, I could see that my pores were highlighted. And I was like, oh no. No, 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 no. I don't want a setting powder to do that. I want a setting powder to really blur. But it's definitely not blurring on your pores. It might be blurring on some other parts of your face. I'm going to be using this on my forehead, yes. I'm going to be using this a little bit on my cheeks right here, maybe even on my chin, on my nose, but I'm not going to be putting it right here. On my pores today, I'm going to be using this other setting powder. I'm just going to press this a little bit onto the powder puff. And let's do it on one side of my face first. Again, I'm just going to avoid some areas here. It is a nice setting powder though. I will say when I put this all over my face, it wasn't the best in oil control, but it's also not the worst, you know. It's kind of like just okay. On the rest of my face, it works well. And let's see on my forehead. I mean, just look at that. It does set the makeup really, really well. And it's also quite finely milled. So, you know, it's not gonna make your foundation look cakey or any of that. It's actually a beautiful powder, but I just, for the life of me, I cannot put it right here. It is also not a powder that is going to change the color of my foundation, because when I saw it, I was like, this kind of looks a little bit yellow, but it's not doing any of that. So I still have to play around with this setting powder a little bit more. But as of right now, I just feel like for my forehead, for my nose, for the jawline, everything, it works fine. If you don't have studio lights, I bet you won't even realize that there are these like micro finely milled sort of pearlescent shimmer particles in there. But I can see them. The light here is intense. Just know this is not really as strong as the Sweet Beauty Miracle Powder. That on me is just straight up a highlighter. And that's going to give you like glass skin. This one is not as strong. It still is going to mattify the skin somehow, but just not my pores. I need them to be very blurred, and this was just not it. So now let me tell you about this amazing blurring powder. It is not brand new, but I am obsessed. And this is by Jones Road, and it's a tinted face powder. Now, I have this in an untinted version. I also have the pink/rose shade right here. Oh my gosh, this is so pink. Like, if you thought that the one size ultra pink was pink, this is pinker. Like, this is even more pink. This really has a pink tint. But for today, I don't feel like I should use this. This is the best oil controlling powder ever. It also comes with a locking sift. Thank you. I mean, the packaging is nothing fancy, to be honest. It's just a simple locking sift. This also has rice powder in here. So if you were looking for a really good blurring powder that has some oil control without being cakey, without drying out your skin, it's amazing. So let me actually put this on here. It is just, I mean, this is more blurring than my Lunar Beauty one. And it's just, it's so perfecting. Like, I cannot tell you how much I have been reaching for this powder lately. And I'm just like speechless. I absolutely adore this powder so much. It really does blur my pores. But all right, so before moving on with some of the newer products, I definitely just do want to do my eyebrows quickly off camera, and then I'll be right back with some color complexion products. All right, you guys, I'm back. My brows are filled in. I actually did use the Victoria Beckham Baby Blade in the shade medium brown today. It is so good to fill in your brows. And of course, as per usual, I also used my Kosas Airbrow Gel in the shade soft brown. I just, you know, run this through when I have finished filling in my eyebrows. In terms of bronzers, I still have not picked up a new bronzer just yet. So I am just gonna be going in with something that I know and love. And for today, I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna be using the Mop Beauty bronzer. This is the shade M36. This has a little bit more of that rosy undertone. I really like this bronzer. It's fantastic. And I also want to apply a little bit of nose contouring. You guys know I always do that. So I pulled out my Kaleidos Symphony Contour Trio in the shade Light. And usually I use the shade in the middle. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to do this in fast forward mode. And then we can actually move on to some newly released blushes. So my bronzer and my nose contour is applied. Again, I really do like these products a lot. So let's move on to these new blushes. And it's really exciting because I'm a huge lover of powder blushes. And recently we have seen so many liquid blushes. So I was really, really excited for this release. It took me a little bit longer to actually get a hold of them, but here they are. And I'm talking about the Fenty Beauty Cheeks Suede Powder Blushes. Now there are 8 shades in total. 2 of them actually do have a shimmer, and the other ones have a matte finish. Now I actually did pick up one of the shimmer shades, and if you see the shade, you're not going to be surprised by this. You are not going to be surprised at all. Usually I do prefer a matte powder blush, but I just could not resist. I really could not resist the shade, and it's this one. It's actually the shade Drama Class. I actually do have this shade in their cream blushes. It's the only cream blush I have by Fenty is this shade, and I don't like the cream blush. That cream is way too dewy for me. It is so greasy on my skin. I never liked that Fenty blush. I never showed it because I really did not enjoy it. But when I saw that they released a powder in the exact same shade, I love purple blush, okay? It is a little bit like glowy, definitely, but it's not over the top to a point where I would say like, oh no, I can't wear this. It's really, really pretty. However, I don't think I'm going to be applying this today, but I filmed some B-roll footage, so I can actually show you how this one is looking on my skin. I really, really like it. I was really enjoying this when I wore this. And today I am going to be applying the shade Bacon Cakes. I had to literally tell myself to stop using this because I was only using this blush now for weeks. I adore this shade. This shade reminds me so much of Maiden's Blush by RMS Beauty, but with a matte finish. Let me actually do a side-by-side on these two. This is the beloved Maiden's Blush shade by RMS, and this is Fenty Beauty. They are so similar. So similar. These are like these beautiful sort of like nude shades, at least on me. It's kind of like a nude blush, but it has this like rosy, brownish pinkiness to it. Let me actually get my blush brush. Really buildable, and I'm so impressed. Like, look, when you just take a little bit, the pigmentation is very, very light. And honestly, I love it. I really prefer a more buildable blush, and I really like this formula. This formula, it is such a diffusing, blurring sort of powder blush, non-patchy, and this shade is just a dream come true. And it just has this like beautiful sort of pinkiness built into the warmth of this blush that it just reminded me of Maiden's Blush by RMS because that's the exact same shade. And I really like these shades because I can't really wear a lot of like peachy, warm sort of like blushes. They are just gonna look a little bit strange on me. So something like this hits the mark, you know. I mean, I couldn't have picked better shades for myself than these two. And I'm so happy that I've got these. They are fantastic. Loving them. So let me actually think what we should be doing about the highlighter real quick. I'm not sure if you guys remember this because in my last trying out new makeup video, I actually featured the Anastasia Glow Seeker highlighters because they did release like 2 new shades. And they did send me the wrong shade, but they replaced it and I was able to keep the wrong shade. And I thought for the life of me, I could not pull this shade off. Curiosity got the best out of me and I tried it out and I'm so glad I did. Because to be honest, I don't really have many shades like this golden sort of like coppery sort of shade. And also it does work on my skin tone. So I thought I would show you this shade because I did not apply it in my last video because I thought I would not keep it. This is such a beautiful highlighter, but it does work on me. I'm so glad. So if I apply just a little bit, just look at that. It's going to work on my skin tone. So pretty on my nose too. Like, I love that. I just love highlighting the tip of my nose. I really love it. So let's put it also a little bit here on the high points of my cheek. I really think this is just such a beautiful highlighter. It's not too intense and it's also not too subtle. I just feel like it's the perfect in between. I really feel like this formula is amazing. This is such finely milled sort of like shimmer in here that you can barely detect it with your eye. And this shade Enchanted actually works really, really well on me. Again, has a little bit more of that golden sort of reflect to it without being too dark on me. And this was a valuable mistake, so I'm really happy that I've got this. But all right, you guys, this is it for my complexion. So let's actually move on to the brand new eyeshadow palette that I got. I'm so excited for this. I already did a look with this. Like, this is not going to be a first impressions, you guys. So this is actually the Ethereal Eyes Moonlight Eyeshadow Palette by Makeup by Mario. So here it is, the brand new eyeshadow palette by Makeup by Mario. I will say I was a little bit reluctant to pick this one up, but I did. I did. I could not resist. I wanted to try these shimmers out because I'm not sure if you know this, but this is actually only my second palette by the brand. Earlier this year, I tried out this Master Mattes the Neutrals eyeshadow palette. Not necessarily my favorite one. Also, I did not really rank this one very high. I ranked it quite low. I wasn't really impressed with this formula and the colors and all of that. I almost feel like this is more of a like elevated formula. And what really got me was this color story. I love cool tones and I love cool neutrals. I am a sucker for taupes, and these shimmers, let me tell you, they are out of this world beautiful. I did not expect that. It comes with 12 shades in total and has 4 different finishes. So the 4 different finishes are glossy shimmers, new suede satins, suede mattes, and natural metallics. Let me actually get my brushes ready and then we can start playing with this and creating a look. So I'm just going to go into this beigey shade right here. When you're dipping in, you gonna get a little bit of kickback. You know, his mattes are a little bit more powdery and they are a little bit more on the buildable side, but I don't know. I think they are fine. This palette is a little bit better than the other one. They blend out quite well on the eyes. So let's see. I'm just gonna put this all over. And oh, that is a beautiful taupe. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is not beigey. This is really like cool tone taupe. This is exactly the type of shade that I love. This might be my favorite eyeshadow color in the world. I love this shade so much. I will say I really, really love the shade, but I kind of want to go over this a little bit with the shade EM3, and EM3 is described as a matte mauve brown. I did use that shade in my first look. So this one right here, I'm just going to take this on the same brush because I just want to fluff it a little bit over this shade. It's not that light, to be honest, so I don't want to do this too much. I just want to add it a little bit and just slightly blend the edges out with this shade. But a shade like this is also something that I love, a mauve brown. Hello. Like, that is so stunning. I really, really love this shade. Okay, so next step, I do want to use something a little bit lighter in my inner corner. So I'm going to go in with the shade EM1, the satin cream shade, this one right here. And I'm just going to brighten up my inner corners slightly. I'm also going to take this shade on a bigger, fluffier brush. And I'm just going to run it a little bit over my brow bone. It is a little bit light reflecting, but not over the top. All right, so I want to deepen up what we have going on the eyes right now, and I want to use this beautiful brown shade. It's actually a pretty cool tone brown. It's described as a matte warm brown. It's not. Maybe in comparison to this entire palette, especially now that I put down the gray, it's not going to turn that warm. And if anything, this is more of a neutral brown than a warm brown. I'm going to be putting this towards my outer corners right here and then just blend it in slightly. Look, this is not very warm, but it's gonna make this look a little bit smokier. I am thinking, do I want to use the black today? I don't think I'm going to, but maybe I will add it later. Let's see. As of right now, I'm just going to leave it where it's at with the darkness, with the depth level. So I'm going to be moving down to my lower lash line. And I really want to try out the blue shade. I have not tried this one out yet. I want to try it out. And I am actually thinking about using a blue eyeliner in my waterline, and I recently tried out this eyeliner and I really love it. This was the only product in today's video that was sent to me by a brand. It is actually by Sweet Beauty and it's the satin eyeliner in the shade Diana Blue. Honestly, I was really impressed when I tried out this shade. I do have this eyeliner in another shade, in Mink Grayish, but that one, I was using that one for the first look with this palette. So you will see that shade in the first look. That was a shade that I purchased myself, but this blue is popping and is beautiful. And I think it's gonna add some life to this look. I'm gonna be putting this in my waterline. So I'll be right back. I'm just gonna do that off camera because I have to go really close to my mirror, which is right here. So I'll be back in a second. I really like this eyeliner. Just look at that. That is popping blue. I was really impressed when I used this the very first time, and it will stay in my waterline quite well. I have a very, very watery waterline, but this just glides in there with ease. All right, so I'm gonna be dipping in here into this blue. Let's see how deep this is gonna be like. I have to tap off my brush with all of these shades. That's how you are going to avoid fallout. If you have already done your face makeup and you are using this palette, tap off your brush. Don't do too much tapping, okay? Because otherwise nothing will be left on your brush. Just do a light like tapping and you're gonna be fine. Pretty dark, but it's not as dark as I thought it would be. However, I'm not gonna bring it all the way in. I'm just gonna leave it like that. And I'm gonna go on a different brush now, on a smudging brush, and I'm just gonna smudge it out. I feel like I'm gonna go in with the cream shade a little bit. So this shade right here, I'm gonna use that just to connect and further just blend this out a little bit more. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with the shade EM5, this one right here, the one that we started off with. And I'm just gonna place it right here, where I left a little bit of a gap. And I'm just gonna blend it slightly in to that blue shade, not a lot. We are getting somewhere. Next step is going to be these beautiful shimmers. So I'm gonna be cleaning up my edges prior though, and very, very important for this palette, because I'm going to explain this to you in a second, but very important step if you don't want to have glitter fallout everywhere. One of the best tricks to avoid that is to apply glitter glue. I honestly just go in with my fingers and I just tap this all over my lids, everywhere where I know that I want to be applying this glossy shimmer shade. I'm going to be using this. That's what I'm going to be doing off camera real quick, and I'll be right back in just a second, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this shimmer formula. All right, so my glitter glue is applied. I did clean up my edges. For today, I was thinking maybe I could combine these two. So the trick with these shimmering glossy shades here is I feel like they are very thin in texture, very, very thin. I will pick them up with my finger. I know, I'm not going to be using a brush. I feel like a brush is always messier, especially if I have my glitter glue on. I feel like I can just stick it, you know, on there. I am gonna do this slowly, very, very slowly. And I'm just gonna use the shade EM10. It's described as a shimmering golden shade. And this looks like a very beautiful sort of like cool toned pale golden. Oh my gosh, this looks so pretty. Ugh. And this other one, you're wondering because you're looking at this and you're thinking, what's golden about this? This looks golden. That one is actually described as a bronzy gold, but just use a little bit and then press it on, right? Don't go like sliding too much. I will build this up a little bit more. I'm telling you, take your time with this process. don't rush this process, because if you do that, you won't have glitter everywhere, I promise you. And this shade is so unique. This is a very sort of like cool tone gold. And now I'm going to be sliding it just slightly, just to blend it out. I will not use a brush at all for the shimmers. Maybe in my inner corner, yes, but for here, I'm not going to, because it's the only way that you can kind of like have control over these particles. Very stunning shade. I'm gonna have to do the same thing on the other side as well. This might be the palest gold I have ever used in my entire life. I really want to dip into the other golden shade, the one that is described as a bronzy gold. I want to use this and kind of like press it over what we just laid down, but just look at that. That shimmer. Oh, that sparkle. So this might be a little bit warmer. I'm just gonna be gentle with this and press it over. The first shade that we laid down, it almost gives me more of like a green gold, very, very pale. And this one does give me a little bit more rosiness, but still so cool toned. Like so cool toned. I love it. So let's go on the other side. This looks pretty, but I want to put something into my inner corner. I'm going to be using this stunning, stunning shade EM2, which is described as a shimmering opal. So this one right here, it's so stunning. It has like these beautiful reflects. If you would use this as a topper all over your eyes would look magical, magical. Look, I picked up enough, and now I'm going to use a setting spray. I'm just going to use this Honest Beauty setting spray here. And I'm just going to very gently spray my brush a little bit so that it can hold and stick a little bit better to my inner corners. And I really want to try and avoid fallout. I just hate fallout, so I have to be very careful here. So I'm just going to put that in my inner corner. That is such a stunning look. I mean, I'm telling you, if you look at this shimmer formula under different lights, you're going to be blown away how beautiful it is. This is incredible. Like, I absolutely love this formula. I absolutely adore these tones. You have to love cool tones. You have to love cool tones in order to appreciate this palette. So I'm going to be applying a mascara. I actually did repurchase a mascara that I used to love. I did empty this twice. Same mascara. Mascara 101. And I feel like this is so underrated. Not a lot of people are talking about it, but it's fantastic. I really like the formula. And so I'm going to be applying this real quick, and I'm just going to show you the outcome. Oof, I really like this mascara. Just look at that. This is so separating, so lengthening. This is actually really, really good. I'm so happy I repurchased this. I mean, I already had this twice, and I always loved this. It won't flake, it won't crumble, it's not dry, it's not gonna smudge, you know? It's a really solid formula. Okay, so we are done with the eyes. I mean, love it. Again, I just really love this palette. So let's actually move on to my lips. I did actually purchase the iconic London Cloud Kiss Matte Lip Mousse. And this is like a velvety lip mousse. So I am hopeful that this is going to be similar to my beloved Anastasia Beverly Hills Lip Velvets. This is also a new product. I actually got the shade Dare to Bear. I would say the shade looked a little bit different online than in real. It is like a nudie pinky shade, and I'm not sure if this is gonna work with the eye look. I'm just gonna apply it. I already pulled out a lip liner for this. This is also a little bit newer to me, so this is not a new product though. I mean, this one is, yes, but the lip liner not really. This is by Mob Beauty, and it's the shade M1990. That's actually my birth year. So I think these shades are gonna work together. This is almost like a rosy brown shade. I'm gonna just blot off the lip oil a little bit, because otherwise my lip liner might be sliding around. I mean, this lip oil was still on my lips, and I love this iconic London lip oil. Honestly, this is fantastic. So let me actually line my lips and I'll be right back. This lip liner is actually really nice. I really like this formula. It's not as creamy, it's a little bit stiffer, but still gives you a lot of pigment. And I will say the shade is stunning. This is like a beautiful sort of like nude, leaning pinkish shade. Let's see if this is one of these blurring velvet lip products or if it's going to enhance my lines. Well, we shall see. Let's just apply it. I like the lip. I actually do like this formula. It is not as thick and cushiony as my ABH lip velvets. I feel like those are more like opaque. This one was a little bit more slippery. Moving around a little bit, I had to do the blotting method again with this, but now looking at myself, all in all, I think this is a cool look. And the lip is actually working because it matches my blush. Please do let me know if you have tried out any of these products that are featured in today's video. Do leave me a comment down below and let me know, do you like the look? What are your thoughts? I would be really curious to know. And if you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to my channel for more content, and don't forget to ring the bell in order to get notified about my upcoming videos. And I shall be seeing you very, very soon on here in the next one. So please do take care. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.